the previous lecture, we people have studied about the chapter dual nature of radiation and dual nature of matter and radiation. So today, we people are going to solve the NCERT textual exercise questions. So let's do the exercise. So here, the first question of the exercise is, find the maximum frequency and the minimum wavelength of X-rays produced by 30 kilovolt electrons. So here the data we have given is, the potential is given to us 30 kilovolt, that can be written as 3 into 10 to the power 4 volt. Energy of the electron in the way, as we know that E is equals to EV, so putting the value of this V here, that is equals to 3 into 10 to the power 4 volt. We get the energy of the electron 3 into 10 to the power 4 electron volt. Now we want to find the maximum frequency. So for maximum frequency, as we have already studied, the formula for the energy E is equals to H nu, or nu is equals to E by H. Substituting the value, what is the value of the energy? That is 3 into 10 to the power 4, and this electron volt is there. So if I want to write it in terms of joule, system international, then it will be equals to 3 into 10 to the power 4 into this value of 1 electron volt. And what is the value of this 1 electron volt? That is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. So in this way, we can find the value of E, and E has been put in terms of this in the form of joule. And as we know that Planck's constant, value of the Planck's constant is 6.6 feet into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. So this joule and this joule will get cancelled out, and we got the unit of frequency, that is hertz. So after dividing it, we got the value of the frequency. So this is our required answer. In the B part, he has asked to calculate that what about the minimum wavelength. So in order to find the minimum wavelength, the frequency should be maximum. So here, as we have found this maximum frequency, so as we know that lambda is equal to C by nu. Now this nu is just maximum frequency. Simply putting the value of C. C is nothing but speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and this new maximum, here we have found this value 7.24 into 10 to the power 18. After substituting the value and solving it, we got the answer 4.14 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter, or in terms of nanometer. If we want to write, then we have to divide it by 100 and multiply it by 100. So on dividing it by 100, we got 0.0414, and by multiplying it with 100, we got here 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Okay, so 10 to the power minus 9 is nothing but nano. So in this way, this will be our required answer. So here, therefore, we got the lambda minimum, that is equals to 0.0414 nanometer. So this was our first question. Again I am repeating, we have to find the maximum frequency and minimum wavelength of the X-rays produced by 30 kilovolt electrons. So we have given the potential here, accelerating potential 30 kilovolt. So what about the energy of electron? As we know that energy E is equals to EV. So E, we have simply multiplied this potential by E. So value of E is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and we got the value of this energy in terms of joule. As we know that E is equals to H nu, so nu will be equals to E by H, where nu is the maximum frequency. Putting the values, we got the required answer 7.24 into 10 to the power 18 hertz. Now we want to find the minimum wavelength, and for the minimum wavelength, the frequency should be maximum. So lambda will be equal to C by nu maximum, and in this way we got the required answer. Let's move to the next exercise question. This is the 11.2nd exercise, and exercise is, the question is, the work function of the cesium metal. Work function of cesium metal is 2.14 electron volt. As we have already studied that this metal has the least work function, and what about the highest work function, that is platinum, 5.65 electron volt. So when light of frequency 6 into 10 to the power 14 hertz is incident on the metal surface, what is the name of the metal? This is cesium metal. Photo emission of electron occurs. What is the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electron? We want to find stopping potential, maximum speed of the emitted photo electron. So here in this case, the data which we have given the work function. Here it is written work function and is denoted by phi naught. So work function is given in terms of electron volt. So we have given this work function. Apart from that, the frequency, it is also given to us, 6 into 10 to the power 14 hertz. Okay, so the maximum kinetic energy is given by the photoelectric effect. As we know, according to Einstein photoelectric equation, we have the formula, that is 1 by 2 mv max ka whole square is equals to h nu minus h nu naught. Or this is the maximum kinetic energy, so we have denoted it here as K, and h nu naught is nothing but work function, so we have written it like that. Now, while substituting the value, one thing should be noted. If here we people are taking the 2.14, that is the value which is given in electron volt, so we have to also write this h nu, that is h nu in terms of electron volt. And how we can write this h nu in electron volt? Simply by dividing this by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Look at here, h is the Planck's constant, nu is the frequency, it is also given to us, this value is known to us, and when we divide it by electron, that is what we say 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, so we got this entire terms in terms of electron volt. Or we can write here, that is just like, for the sake of simplicity, we can write like that in terms of electron volt. So after solving it, we got the value 2.485 minus 2.14, and the required answer is 0.345 electron volt. Further, the stopping potential, as according to photoelectric effect, the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron is equals to EV naught, that is work done by the stopping potential. So V naught, that is stopping potential, will be K over E. So what is the value of K? 0.345. Simply here we can write EV divided by E. So E and E will get cancelled out here. This, and we got the required answer, that is stopping potential. Therefore V naught is equals to 0.345 volts. So this is the required answer here. Further, we want to calculate the maximum speed of the emitted photoelectrons. So for maximum speed, if we want to calculate, first of all, as we know that this maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron can be written as 1 by 2 mv square. So which implies v square is equals to 2k by m. And what is the value of m here? It is the mass of electron, and this mass of electron is given by 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. 2, and what about k? K is this one, 0.345 electron volt. So we will put the value of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and after calculating it we got the answer 0.1104 into 10 to the power 12. Okay, and this is the, what we can say, v square. So we are getting this v square, and after taking its square root of this, here we can write that this square of the velocity is equals to 0.1104 into 10 to the power 12. So when we take the square root of this, we got the required answer, that is equals to 3.323 and 10 is power 5 meter per second. So in this way, this was the second question of your NCERT textbook. Let's move to the next question. Now, this is our third question. Here we people are asked to calculate the question is the photoelectric cutoff voltage in a certain experiment is 1.5 volt. What is the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectrons emitted? So we want to calculate the maximum kinetic energy. It is simple question. We have given the cutoff voltage. Cutoff voltage means we have given the stopping potential 1.5 volt. We want to find the maximum kinetic energy. So according to this photoelectric effect, the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron is equals to the work done by the stopping potential. So Kmax is equals to EV naught. Putting the value of E is the charge on electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to minus 19, and V naught is 1.5, it is given. So after multiplying, we got the required answer. Let's move to the next question. Here, in this question, what is saying? A monochromatic light of wavelength 632.8 nanometer is produced by helium neon source. Once again repeating, monochromatic light means light of single wavelength. Monochromatic light of wavelength is produced by a helium neon laser. The power emitted is 9.42 milliwatt. Find the energy and momentum of each photon in the light beam. We want to find the energy and momentum of each photon. Further, how many photons per second? In the B part is asking how many photons per second on the average arrive at a target radiated by this beam. He is asking how many photons per second on the average arrive at the target irradiated by this beam. And assumption we have to do, assume the beam to have uniform cross section which is less than the target area. Suppose here, this is our target. Then the incoming beam, this has the uniform cross section, and this uniform cross section area is less than the area of this target. This is A and this is the A dash in this way. Okay, and this is the source. From the source, these radiations are coming. Now in the C part, how fast does a hydrogen atom have to travel in order to have the same momentum as that of photon, which are what we can say produced by the helium neon laser. So let's study about this. First of all, the data which we have given, we are provided with the wavelength, that is 632.8 nanometer. Writing it in the System International, nano stand for 10 is power minus 9. So simply writing it. And further, the power is given to us, that is power is itne millivolt, so milli stand for 10 is power minus 3, and this watt, the unit of the power. So in the first part, he is asking find the energy and momentum of each photon. So energy of the each photon is given by E is equal to hc by lambda, where h is the Planck's constant, c is the speed of light, lambda is the wavelength which is given to us. So after solving, we got the value of wavelength 3.141 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Further, momentum of each photon, as we have studied in the characteristic, that is characteristic of the particle nature of light, momentum associated with the photon is given by P is equals to h by lambda. What about h? Is the Planck's constant, and lambda is given to us. Substituting the value, we got the required answer 1.047 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilogram meter per second. Further, In the B part, he is asking how many photons per second on the average arrive at the target irradiated by the beam. How many photons are reaching this target? So here the formula is written as P is equals to NE. Why it is written as P is equals to NE? Look at here, as power is equals to energy over time. Okay, so here we people are given that N is denoting the number of photons emitted per unit of time, and time they have taken the second. So number of photons per second and energy. So per second we do not write, we can assume it as N is equals to number of photons per second. So that's why this P is equals to NE is written here. So what about N? That is number of photons per second. These are reaching the target, that P by E. Now what is P? That is the power, and power is equals to 9.42 into 10 to the power minus 3 watt. Substituting the value of power divided by energy. What about the energy? We have calculated its value 3.14 this into 10 to the power minus 19. Okay, and after calculating we got the required answer, that is 3 into 10 to the power 16 photons per second. So in this way the required answer for the B part has calculated. Now in the C part he is asking how fast does the hydrogen atom have to travel in order to have the same momentum as that of photon. So here in this case, as momentum of hydrogen atom will be equal to momentum of photon. Why? Because here it is written in the given problem, in order to have the same momentum. In this word, the answer is lying behind this word. So here we are writing as momentum of hydrogen atom is equals to momentum of a photon, and momentum of photon we have already calculated. So therefore momentum of hydrogen atom will be this much. Now we want to calculate speed. So as we know that momentum is equals to product of mass and velocity, so which implies velocity is equals to P by M in this way. Putting the respective value, what about M? That is the mass of hydrogen atom 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27. Momentum we have already calculated, so we got the answer, that is this what we can say meter per second, 0.621. So this will be the required answer. Now let's move to the next exercise. Now, here in this exercise, the statement is the energy flux of sunlight. Energy flux means the number of radiations, or energy flux means energy incident per unit area per unit time. That is, energy flux of sunlight reaching the surface of earth is 1.388 into 10 to the power 3 watt per meter square. How many photons per square meter are incident on the earth per second? Means to say, here this is our sun, and energy flux of sunlight reaching the earth surface is, this is the earth's surface. So here the sunlight in this way, this is the energy flux. Energy flux, what I have told you, energy incident per unit time per unit area. Let us consider this energy flux is falling in this area in unit time, in this area in unit time. Under that condition, how many photons per square meter are incident? How many photons in this region per square meter are incident on the earth per second. Assume that photons in sunlight have an average wavelength of this 550 nanometer. So as the data we have given the energy flux. We have given the energy flux. From here we can find the value of power of the sunlight per square meter. We can write it like that. Why? Because I have written here energy flux, energy incident per unit time per unit area. Okay. So here energy over time. This is nothing but power. So power incident per unit area. Ultimately he is saying like that. So that's why here written. Hence power of sunlight per square meter can be written as 1.388 into 10 to the power 3 watt. Now we want to calculate the number of photons. So as we know that, why we have written this formula? Because P is equals to N into E by T. Now if I put its value as 1 second, then this will become N into E, and this is ultimately equal to power. So therefore N will be given by N is equals to P by E. And what about this E? Because E is equal to HC, H nu, or we can write HC by lambda. Putting the value of this E, HC by lambda, lambda get multiplied by P. So we get P lambda over HC. What is the value of P? 1.388 into 10 to the power 3 lambda. This is also given to us 550 nanometer. Putting the value, H Planck's constant, C speed of light. So we got the answer, that is 3.84 into 10 to the power 21 photons per meter square per second. So in this way we can solve this question. Let's move to the next part of the exercise. Okay, and the next question is statement is, in an experiment on the photoelectric effect, the slope of cut of voltage versus frequency of incident light is found to be this much. Calculate the value of Planck's constant. Now here, students, R.A. Millikan in the year of 1912, instead of disproving the Einstein photoelectric equation, he has checked the correctness of this photoelectric equation by plotting the graph between cutoff potential versus frequency. So as I have already told you that here in this case the graph was like as this was the x-intercept, this was the what we can say that was the y-intercept, or here we can write OE, and this corresponds to threshold frequency. So this was our slope. Here we have calculated this slope, and slope is, we have calculated this slope, that is like as this AB over BC. So according to Einstein photoelectric equation, we have the formula 1 by 2 mv max ka whole square is equals to h nu minus h nu naught, and this kinetic energy was then equals to EV naught is equals to h nu minus h nu naught. So if we calculate this value, V naught is equals to h by E into nu minus h nu naught. This is nothing but work function, so we can write it as phi naught by E. So while comparing this equation with the slope intercept form, y is equals to mx plus c. So along the y-axis we have to take the stopping potential we have taken, and along the x-axis we have to take the frequency. Then m was equals to h by E. So we people are asked here to calculate the value of this Planck's constant. We want to calculate Planck's constant, and as we know that ki H by E is equals to M, slope of this cut-off potential versus frequency graph, and what about its slope? That is equals to AB by BC. AB by BC, and here in this case AB is nothing but small change in cut-off potential, okay, and what about this delta nu? That BC is nothing but, CB is nothing but, here I am writing it CB is nothing but delta nu. So this thing is given to us, okay. We want to calculate this H, so we have to multiply it by E. So when we multiply this H delta V over delta nu by E, so we got the required answer. But the main thing is that you must have the knowledge about this R.A. Millikan's, how he has checked the correctness of the Einstein photoelectric equation. So in this way, this question will be solved. Unless you don't have the idea, you will unable to solve this. Now let's move to the next question. The question is, a 100-watt sodium lamp radiates energy uniformly in all directions. A 100-watt sodium lamp radiates energy in all directions. Lamp is located at the center of large sphere that absorb all the sodium light which is incident on it. Now as per the situation, we people are given that here, if we consider it like as, let us consider this is our sodium lamp. Now this lamp is radiating the energy uniformly in all the directions, light. Further, it is also given, lamp is located at the center of large sphere. Now this lamp is located at the center of this large sphere that absorbs all the sodium light which is incident on it. The wavelength of this light, it is given to us 589 nanometer. So the question he is asking, what is the energy per photon associated with the sodium light? What about the energy associated per photon? Means E is equal to h lambda we want to calculate. After that, at what rate the photons are delivered to the sphere? What rate means number of photons which are delivered to this sphere, this large sphere by this sodium lamp. This thing we want to calculate. So as we know that energy per photon is given by E is equal to x c by lambda. Simply putting here the value of Planck's constant, speed of light and wavelength of light, we get the answer 3.37 into 10 power minus 19 joule. Now if we want to convert it in terms of electron volt, then as we know that here we can write, but 1 electron volt is equals to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joule. So what about 1 joule, which implies 1 joule is equals to 1 over 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 electron volt. So simply here I have substituted the value of this 1 joule here, and we got the required answer after calculating 2.11 into 2.11 electron volts. Now in the next thing, we people wants to calculate number of photons delivered to the sphere, that is N. So the equation for the power can be written as P is equals to NE, I have already told you, or N is equals to P by E. P, power, it is given to us, that is 100 watt. Putting value, and E, we have already calculated it, that is 3.37 into 10 power minus 19 joule. Why we have not written this electron volt? Because it is given in watt, and 1 watt is equals to 1 joule per second. So joule and joule will get cancelled out, and we got the value of, therefore n is equals to 2.96 into 10 to the power 20 photons per second. Therefore, every second this much number of photons are delivered to the sphere. So in this way, this was your 7th question in the exercise. Let's move ahead to the next question. Okay. Now here in this question, what is saying? The threshold frequency for a certain metal is 3.3 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz. If the light of frequency 8.2 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz is incident on the metal, predict the cutoff voltage for the photoelectric emission. What we want to calculate? Cutoff voltage. What we have given? Threshold frequency. We have given to us. Okay? And this one. Further, the frequency of the light which is incident on it is also given. So, according to, as we know that maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron is given by this. Why we have written it? Because according to Einstein photoelectric equation, we have 1 by 2 mv max square is equals to h nu minus h nu naught. Or if we take this common h, so we get nu minus nu naught, like that. And this maximum kinetic energy, whenever the current, photoelectric current in the circuit is 0, so this 1 by 2 mv max square is equals to the work done by the stopping potential. So writing its value, we got this equation. So from here, making this v naught as subject, we got h into nu minus nu naught over E. Putting the value, as nu is the frequency of the incident radiation and it is greater than the threshold frequency, so subtracting these two and dividing it with the electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, we got the respective value, that is V. Therefore, V naught stopping potential is equal to 2.0292 volt. So in this way, we can get the required answer. Now, let's move to the next question. The question is, the work function for a certain metal is given to us 4.2 electron volt. The next question, next part is saying, will this metal show the photoelectric emission for the incident radiation of this much wavelength or not? No. The metal will show the photoelectric effect only under that condition if the, what we can say, energy of the incident radiation is found to be greater than the work function. If the energy of the incident radiation is lesser than the work function, then no photoelectric emission will take place. Clear? And if the energy is greater than the energy of the, what we can say, energy of incident radiation is greater than the work function, only under that condition the photoelectric emission will take place. Otherwise it will not take place. So here we have calculated the value of the energy of incident radiation as what we have given. We have given the wavelength of incident radiation 330 nanometer, and that is equals to, wavelength is nanometer, so nano means 10 to the power minus 9. Simply putting the value, we got this much energy. But this energy is coming out to be in joule. We want to calculate it in terms of electron volt. Okay, so simply we will divide this by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Why? Because here we can write the same thing. 1 electron volt is equals to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule, which implies 1 joule is equals to 1 over 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 electron volt, like that. So in this way, by putting its value, dividing it, we got the energy of incident radiation. Now look at here, compare these two values. This is the energy of incident radiation and this is the work function of the metal. Now energy of the incident radiation is found to be lesser than the work function. Then no photoelectric emission will take place. As energy of incident is lesser than the work function of the metal, so there will be no photoelectric emission. And if in some cases another numericals, if E is found to be greater than phi naught, under that condition the photoelectric emission will take place. And here in this question, as energy of incident radiation is lesser than the work function, so no photoelectric emission is going to be taken place. Okay, so this was your exercise 9. Let's move to the next question. Okay, the next question is saying the light of frequency 7.21 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz is incident on a metal surface. Electrons with a maximum speed 6 into 10 to the power 5 meter per second are ejected from the surface. What is the threshold frequency for photon emission of the electrons? Mind that whatever the data we have given the frequency, that is nu is 7.21 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz, and electron with maximum speed, Vmax is also given to us. We want to calculate the threshold frequency. Again, we will make use of the Einstein photoelectric equation. As 1 by 2 mv square is equals to h into nu minus nu naught, or here, from here we can calculate this value of stopping potential, that is mv square, taking this h here, we can solve it like that, which implies 1 by 2 mv square, and taking this h in the denominator we can write collectively mv square by 2h is equals to nu minus nu naught. We want to calculate this. So we will take this mv square by 2h in the right side and this to the left side. So we got this equation then. Now frequency, it is given to us, putting the value. M is the mass of electron. We know that 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram, and this V, speed, V square, putting the value divided by 2 into h. H is the Planck constant. So here the calculated value 2.472 into 10 to the power 14, and the required answer after calculating 4.738 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz. So in this way we will solve this question. Now let's move to the next part. Question number 11. The next question is saying that light of wavelength 488 nanometer is produced by an argon laser which is used in the photoelectric effect. Okay? This much light is produced by an argon laser which is used in the photoelectric effect. When light from this spectral line is incident on the emitter, the stopping or cutoff potential of the photoelectron is 0.38 volt. Find the work function of the material from which the emitter is made. So here again we people are using the Einstein photoelectric equation. We have the relation involving the work function of the material of the emitter as. Why we have written like that? Because as we have the 1 by 2 mv max square is equals to h nu minus h nu naught. Now this h nu naught is nothing but what we can say, this is the work function, and this 1 by 2 mv max square is nothing but kinetic energy, and according to this what we can say photoelectric effect, this 1 by 2 mv max square is equals to ev naught. So putting here the value, and this h nu naught, considering it as phi naught, because we can write this as phi naught. So we want to calculate this work function, so taking this work function toward the right side and EV naught on the left side, putting the values, and after calculation we got the answer, that is this much. Clear? Here one thing should be noted here, that while substituting the value of this Planck's constant, this speed of light and this wavelength, we have to divide here by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Why? Because we want to convert this energy in terms of electron volt. This EV naught, stopping potential, is already given to us, that is 0.38 volt. Okay, so here in this way we can find the value of this work function in terms of electron volt, that is 2.16 electron volt. Okay, now let's move ahead. The next part, next question. Is it clear to all of you? The next question, we people are given the statement, calculate the momentum de Broglie wavelength of the electrons accelerated through a potential difference of 56 volt. We want to calculate the momentum de Broglie wavelength of the electrons which are accelerated through a potential difference of 56 volt. Now, in order to find the de Broglie wavelength of electrons which are accelerated through the potential difference of this volt, we already know the formula, that wavelength lambda is equals to 12.27 over square root of V angstrom. Then this part of the question can be solved by applying the formula. But here, in order to calculate the momentum, first of all we must have knowledge about this what we can say velocity of the electron. So as we know that the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electron is equals to EV, the work done by the stopping potential. So from here we got the value of this V, which implies V, speed of the electron, velocity of electron will be equal to square root of 2 EV by m. Okay, so putting the value 2E, charge on electron, V is the potential through which the electrons are accelerated, m is the mass of the electron, we got the required answer, that is 4.44 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Further, the momentum of each accelerated electron is given by P is equals to mb. And what is the m here? We want to find the momentum of electrons, so m is the mass of electrons. So here we will calculate that 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram, and V value, and simply multiplying this, we got the momentum, that P is equals to this much. And the rest part, de Broglie wavelength associated with the electron, directly we can calculate from the formula, and in this way, after calculating it, we got the required answer. So in this way, students, till now we have studied about the very simple questions, just directly based upon the formulas of the theory which we have studied earlier. Let's start solving the next question, 13th question of your exercise. The question is, what is the momentum, speed and de Broglie wavelength of electron with kinetic energy? This much. We have given the kinetic energy 120 electron volt. We want to calculate the momentum, we want to calculate the speed. So first of all, this question I'm giving you as homework. Try to solve it. In the part A, we want to calculate the momentum. So momentum, how we can calculate? As we know that kinetic energy is equals to 1 by 2 mv square, or we can write mv square by 2. Go in 11th class. If I multiply this by m and divide this by m, what we get? mv whole square divided by 2m. Now this m is nothing but this is the momentum, that is p square by 2m. So here k is equals to p square by 2m. So what about p, which implies p will be equal to square root of 2mk in this way. So that's why here we have written the momentum of the electron will be root of 2mk, where value of the k is this much, mass of m is the mass of electron. So simply by putting it you have to calculate the value. Further, speed. So as momentum p is equals to mb, which implies v is equals to p by m. So simply by dividing this p by mass of the electron we got the required answer. In the next step he is asking that calculate the de Broglie wavelength of the electron. So electron is a material particle, so h by p we can write. So putting the value we will get the answer. I think it will be quite clear to you. Now let's move to the next question. The question is 14th question. Here in this question he is saying that the wavelength of light from the spectral emission of the line of the sodium. Yes. The wavelength of light from the spectral emission line of sodium is 589 nanometer. Wavelength lambda is given to us. Find kinetic energy at which the electron and neutron would have the same de Broglie wavelength. We have to find out the kinetic energy at which electron and this neutron they are possessing the same de Broglie wavelength. So the data we have given, wavelength is given 589 nanometer, converting it in System International. Mass of electron 9.1 into 10 to the minus 31 kilogram. Mass of neutron is 1.66 into 10 to the minus 27 kilogram. So in order to calculate this wavelength is given to us, we want to calculate the kinetic energy. So first of all we have to derive the relation between the wavelength and the kinetic energy. So as wavelength associated with these material particles, lambda is equals to h by p, where p is equals to, right now I have proved p is equal to root of 2mk. Putting the value we get h over square root of 2mk, squaring both sides, what we get here, lambda square is equal to h square over 2mk, and which implies k is equals to h square, taking k here and lambda square in the denominator. So k is equal to h square over 2m lambda square. We have made the formula, general formula to find the kinetic energy. Now for electron, the kinetic energy is given by h is the Planck's constant, we have substituted the value, m is the mass of the electron, lambda is the wavelength. So lambda square into m. In this way we can write. So here we have used the formula like that, h square over 2 lambda square into n in this way. Okay. So after calculating it, we got the value in terms of energy 6.9 into 10 to the power minus 25 joule. Now in order to convert it in electron, we will simply divide it with 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So after dividing it, we got the value in electron volt, that 4.31 into 10 to the power minus 6 electron volt, and 10 to the power minus 6 is nothing but micro, so 4.31 micro electron volt, that will be the required answer. Now for the neutron, the kinetic energy, again we are using the same formula, but the difference is here we have to make use of this mass of the neutron, and mass of the neutron is 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilogram. So after calculating it, we got the value in joule, and in order to convert it in electron volt, again we will divide this equation by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So we got the answer like that. Now here, mind that students, here 10 to the power minus 90 minus 9 is nothing but nano. So that's why This is 2.36 nano electron volt. That is the required answer. So in this way, this was your 14th question. Now let's start studying about the 15th question. Okay. In the 15th question, he is saying that what is the de Broglie wavelength of a bullet of mass 0.040 kilogram traveling at a speed of 1.0 kilometer per second? A ball of mass this much traveling with the speed of this much, a dust particle of mass this much drifting with the speed of this. So here we want to calculate simply the de Broglie wavelength. Now as we know that the formula for the de Broglie wavelength is lambda is equals to h over m. Simply here we have to put the value of this mass and this speed, that is, here I have solved it for the first part, and the rest of the B and C part you have to solve it by your own. So here the value of Planck's constant is known to us. What about the mass of this bullet? In the first part, 0.040 kilogram, it is given to us, and this V speed 1 kilometer per second. So 1 kilometer means 1000 meter per second. Putting the value, and after calculation we got this answer as 1.65 into 10 power minus 35 meter. So this is the de Broglie wavelength associated with the bullet. Mind that it is associated only with the material particles which are in motion. The material particles which are not in motion, the de Broglie wavelength is not associated with them. And B and C parts you have to solve by your own. Now let's start solving the next question, that is 11.16. Here in this question, what we have given, an electron and a photon each have a wavelength of 1 nanometer. Wavelength is given, they have the same wavelength. We have to find their momentum, the energy of photon and kinetic energy of the electron. So here momentum of elementary particle is given by, as we know that wavelength are associated with the material particle, lambda is equals to h by p. So which implies P, momentum is equals to h by lambda. Now here, as the wavelength for electron and photon, they each have the wavelength of 1 nanometer. So we can say that if their wavelengths are equal, then their momentums will also be equal. And the momentums equal are given by P is equals to h by lambda. Simply we are putting the value, we got the answer. Further, we want to calculate the energy of the photon. So as energy associated with the photon is given by E is equals to h nu, where nu frequency is c by lambda. Putting the value, we got E is equal to hc by lambda. So here in this way, hc, Planck's constant, c is the speed of light, and lambda is the wavelength. This 1 nanometer, that is 10 to the power minus 9. And here, in order to write this energy in terms of electron volt, simply we have divided it with the 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 electron volt. So in this way we got the value, that is 1243.1 electron volt, and that is equals to simply dividing it by 1000 and multiplying with the 1000. So we got this answer in the form of kilo electron volt. In the C part, he is saying that calculate the kinetic energy of the electron. So as we have already studied, because this kinetic energy is equals to P square by 2m, P square by 2m. So we have got the value of this P. What is the value of this momentum? 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 25. So putting the value, and m is the mass of electron. So we got the required answer, that is 2.415 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Now, in order to convert this into electron volt, we have to divide it with 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So, in this way, the required answer is there for the kinetic energy of the electron. Let's start solving the next question, 17th question. So here in this question, what we have given is saying that for what kinetic energy of neutron will the associated de Broglie wavelength will be 1.4 into 10 to the minus 10 meter. For what kinetic energy of the neutron will the associated de Broglie wavelength will be this much. Also find the de Broglie wavelength of a neutron in thermal equilibrium with the matter having an average kinetic energy of 3/2 kBt at 300 Kelvin. So here we want to calculate the kinetic energy associated with the de Broglie wavelength. De Broglie wavelength is given to us this much meter. So as we know that de Broglie wavelength associated with the material particle is given by lambda is equals to h by p, and p is nothing but square root of 2mk, because k is equals to p square by 2m. So from here we got the value p is equal to square root of 2mk, like that. Okay, putting the value, we want to calculate k, so squaring it both sides. By doing so, this square root will get cancelled out with the square, because it will be like that in this way, and then it will become h square over 2mk. So making k as subject, we got k is equals to h square over 2m lambda square. Substituting the values, what is m here? What is the value of m here? Yes. What is the value of m here? This is the neutron mass. So mass of neutron we already know 1.66 into 10 to the minus 27 kilogram, and this lambda is wavelength 1.40 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So calculating it here in formula, they have substituted the value like as lambda square into m. This is the value of mass of neutron. Lambda is already given. So we got the kinetic energy in terms of joule. Now in order to convert it in electron volt, what we will do? We will divide it with the 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19. So that therefore we got the required answer, that is 4.219 into 10 to the power minus 2 electron volts. So this is the required answer. Further, also find the de Broglie wavelength of neutron in thermal equilibrium with the matter having average kinetic energy 3/2 kBt at 300 Kelvin temperature. So here in the B part, we people are provided the temperature of the neutron, that is 300 Kelvin. Boltzmann constant is already known to us, 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. So here, as we know that average kinetic energy associated with the electron k dash is equals to 3/2 kBt. So substituting value, this is Boltzmann constant, this is absolute temperature. We got the what we can say, average kinetic energy 6.21 into 10 to the power minus 21 joule. Further, as wavelength, this lambda dash can be written as h over square root of 2k dash mn. Why? According to this relation, wavelength associated with the material particle is h by p, and p is nothing but root of 2mk. So in this way, now putting the value k dash is the, what we can say, average kinetic energy of neutron. So putting this value here, and mn is the mass of the neutron, that is mass of the neutron is 1.66 into 10 to the minus 27 kilogram. So we got the required answer, that is 0.416 nanometer. So this is the required wavelength lambda dash. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Okay. In next part, he is saying that show that the wavelength of the electromagnetic radiation is equals to the de Broglie wavelength of its quantum, that is photon. So first of all, as we know that this de Broglie wavelength is written only here. Yes, de Broglie wavelength as for photon is given by considering it as material particle, lambda is equals to h nu. Now considering this photon as a wave, that is for the radiation we have the wavelength lambda dash is equals to c by nu. Why? Because speed will be equal to distance over time, that is nu. So this lambda dash will be equal to c by nu. Okay. Further, as we know that energy of the radiation E is equal to Pc according to Einstein. According to Einstein relativistic formula, because E is equal to Pc, this is the energy associated with the photon. If we consider it as radiation, so P will be equals to E by C. Now E is the energy of the radiation, that is h nu. Okay. Now putting the value of this h nu, so nu is the c by lambda dash. If we find its value, so here nu will be equal to c by lambda dash. This c and this c will get cancelled out and we got h by lambda dash. So therefore lambda dash, taking this lambda dash here, p here, we got lambda dash is equal to h by p, and h by p is nothing but lambda. So hence it is proved that the wavelength of electromagnetic radiation is equals to de Broglie wavelength of its photon or quantum. Let's move ahead. Now let's come to this question, question number 19. Here in this question he is saying that what is the de Broglie wavelength of the nitrogen molecule. Now this thing we have to keep in mind. He is saying about nitrogen molecule. So nitrogen molecule is written like that N2. It is never written like N. Nitrogen molecule in air at temperature 300 Kelvin. Assume that molecule is moving with the root mean square speed of molecules at this temperature, and the atomic mass of the nitrogen is given to us simply nitrogen. It is not written here, mind that here it is not written nitrogen molecule. He is writing only about nitrogen, 14.0076 atomic mass unit. Okay, so in the solution, first of all, here we have written whatever the data we have given T, that absolute temperature is 300 Kelvin, then atomic mass of nitrogen, it is given to us. So therefore mass of nitrogen molecule, nitrogen has the two molecules, so 2 multiply this mass of one molecule, 14.0076 U. Now U is the atomic mass unit. You have also studied in chemistry, and value of this is 1.66 into 10⁻27 kilogram. Putting this value of U here, multiplying it with 28.0152, we got the total mass of the nitrogen molecule. We want to calculate here, what we want to calculate, de Broglie wavelength. So for this de Broglie wavelength associated with the nitrogen molecule, so it is the material particle, so it will be h over mv. So where v is the root mean square velocity. So here according to the condition, here it is given, assume that molecule is moving with the root mean square speed at this temperature. So as in the 11th class we have studied, average this 1 by 2 V RMS square will be equals to 3 by 2 kBT. That is average value of kinetic energy, and the relation between absolute temperature is given by this. So solving it, what we get, the next step, which implies this 2 and 2 will get cancelled out. We get mv RMS square is equals to 3 kBT. or which implies this Vrms square is equals to 3 kBt over m. Okay? Or in the next step, taking this square to this side, we got this Vrms is equal to this much. Now, as the de Broglie wavelength for the nitrogen molecule is given by, simply by putting here Vrms value, what we get here, this expression become, let's put the value here as lambda is equals to h over m into this Vmax Vrms. I am substituting the value 3 kBt over m, like I have substituted the value. Now take this m inside. So what would be? That is m square into 3 kBt over m. So this m and this m will get cancelled out, and finally what we get, square root of cm kBt. So that's why we have got the relation as 3m kBt. Okay, in this way. Now putting the value, m is the mass of nitrogen molecule, k is the Boltzmann constant. Simply here we have to write kb, Boltzmann constant, we have substituted the value, and T is the absolute temperature. Okay, so 3m is the mass, we have substituted the value, and this kb is the Boltzmann constant, and T is the absolute temperature. We got this answer after solving, and this comes 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So 10 to the power minus 9 means nanometer. So in this way we got the de Broglie wavelength. Let's move to the next question. The last question. Okay. Now this question is estimate the speed with which the electrons emitted from a heated emitter of an evacuated tube impinge on the collector. Impinge on the collector means they strike the collector maintained at the potential difference of 500 volts. We have given the value of this potential with respect to the emitter. Okay, that is the potential between the emitter and the collector is given to us 500 volt. Ignore the small initial speeds of the electron. The specific charge of the electron ratio, specific charge ratio E by m is given to us 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. Use the same formula you applied in part A to obtain the electron speed for an collector potential of 10 megavolt. Do you see what is wrong? In what way is this formula can be modified? So here in this case, the data which we have given, that is, we have given the value of this potential V is equals to 500 volt. We have given the value of this specific charge ratio 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. Now, speed of each emitted electron is given by the relation for the kinetic energy. As we have studied in photoelectric effect, maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron is equals to the work done by the stopping potential. So this kinetic energy is equals to EV. Okay. So here we want to calculate this V. So how we can write it further, that V square is equals to 2EV by m, and by taking this square to the right hand side we got this formula. Now isolating this E by m, because E by m ratio is given to us 2V into E by m whole power 1 by 2. So what is the stopping potential? 500, and E by m ratio is given to us, and this is becomes equals to 1.327 into 10 to the power 7 meter per second. Now in the B part he is saying that yes, a potential of the anode. Here in this case he is saying that use the same formula to obtain the electron speed for the collector potential of this what we can say 10 mega volt. So as potential is given to us 10 mega volt, so mega matlab 10 is power 6 volt. Putting the value again here, simply we have to change here the value. In the earlier question the potential was 500 volt, so here 10 is power 7 volt, okay, 2 into 10 is power 7, E by M ratio will remain same. We got this one, that is equals to 1.88 into 10 is power 9 meter per second. Now this speed becomes greater than the speed of light, so the particles greater than speed of light, these formulas cannot be applied here. Under that condition, Einstein's relativity theory came into existence and their relativistic formulas will be there. So what we can say, the result is wrong. This result is wrong. Why? Because this speed is found to be greater than, which implies v is greater than the speed of light, which is not possible, because nothing can move faster than a light. In the above formula, the expression is 1 by 2 mv square for energy can only be used for non-relativistic limit. Non-relativistic limit, we mean that for the objects whose speed is very, very small than the speed of light. Because here kinetic energy is given by 1 by 2 mv square. So for the particles which are moving with the speed of light, we cannot use this formula. Why? Why we cannot use? Because relativistic formula will come into existence. So for high speed problems, here we are writing relativistic equations must be considered. For solving them, in relativistic limit, the total energy is given as E is equals to mc square. Why? According to Einstein theory of relativity, the energy associated with them will be E is equal to mc square. Now we cannot use this energy, that is 1 by 2 mv square. Now we have to make use of this formula. Further, where m is called as the relativistic mass, this m is called as relativistic mass, and relativistic mass as the formula m naught by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Okay. Further, then the change in kinetic energy will be given by mc square minus m naught c square. Why it is so? Here basically it is written as change in kinetic energy. This is the rest mass energy. When the particle was at rest, that is denoted by E, and this mc square is E dash. Why? Because as the particle moves, its mass increases by according to this formula. So according to this formula, as a result of which its energy becomes E dash. So therefore difference between E dash and E, that is becomes equals to the change in kinetic energy. So we cannot make use that formula for the relativistic case. Once again repeating, student understand this question. Simply one thing we have to keep in mind, that anything which is moving with the speed of light, we cannot use the ordinary formula. In that case, we have to use the relativistic formula. And in the relativistic formula, the energy formula will be is equal to mc square, where m is called a relativistic mass, and this mass varies according to the formula m naught by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Okay? Clear? Further, change in kinetic energy. When the particle is at rest, then its energy is given by this formula. If it is moving with some or if it starts moving, then its formula will become E dash is equal to mc square, where m is the relativistic. So in this way, the formula will get modified. You have to do this question like that. Okay? So today we have solved this NCERT exercise of this 11th chapter. I hope that you understood this exercise. If you still have any problem, then you can consult me later on. Thank you.